everyone, I'm Val, and today I'm going to talk about Bugs Bunny and Taz TimeBusters. This PSX and Windows game is a kinda sequel to Bugs Bunny Lost in Time, which came out the year before. I have vague memories of playing that game at my grandparents' house, but TimeBusters is the game we had, so I spent the most time with this one. The charm of this game begins right at the title screen. We get Bugs leaning on the classic Looney Tunes ring, ready to steal the show, while Taz just does his own thing. Now, it seems we have the option of 1 or 2 players, and we can choose this every time we load up the game, but I don't have any IRL friends, so we'll be sticking with 1 player for this video. Let's get started. Our first cutscene begins with Daffy Duck appearing to help Granny out with exterminating a little mouse. Being
nothing more than a silly, goofy Daffy,
he messes everything up and gets transported through time after breaking the time regulator that apparently exists and is in Granny's house. Okay. The thing explodes, knocking Granny over and sending gears all over the place, bringing Bugs into the fray. Because let's face it, if something metal just conks you on the head, you're gonna want to find out what the heck is going on, right? Like most people, Bugs is powerless in the face of Grandma asking for help with her chores, and we start our quest through time to retrieve the time gem. Now we might as well save Daffy while we're at it, I guess. Tutorial time! We get used to the controls by running around the hub world of Greenwich. Okay, that's a good one. Both characters jump with X and attack with square, but Taz has his trademark whirlwind spin to attack, and in the tutorial we learn how to pick up boxes to reach faraway gears, or to carry off monkeys to eat later. Either one is good. A really good quality of life inclusion to the single player mode is that the right analog stick controls the movement of whoever you're not playing, complete with pressing R3 to jump. It's a brilliant addition. I mean, it's not necessary to use it at all, but if you need to line up anything, say positioning Taz so you can use him as a trampoline, or getting Bugs to stand on a block before you carry him somewhere, you have a quick option to do so, and honestly it's super useful. Fittingly, Bugs Bunny can also dive into rabbit holes, if Taz has dug them open at least. And this is mostly used to bump up objects to create platforms. You get extra abilities as you go through the time zones and find Tweety, so Granny can teach you another move, after which Tweety promptly gets abducted by aliens. If you are playing 2-player, holding the R1 button will hog the camera so you can do trickier platforming, but in single player, the R1 button instead switches who you're controlling. L1 summons the other character to your location, which is useful in a number of ways. Since Bugs jumps higher than Taz, this is often the only way to get the little devil up to platforms where he can run around breaking things. I also used it as a checkpoint of sorts, leaving one character at the start of a platforming challenge or this waterfall, so you can switch camera and then summon yourself if you mess it up. Just be careful not to mix up the left and right buttons or else you... hi, Taz. Dang it. Now we've learned how to make this game work, let's actually go on our quest. Something I've noticed is that the textures aren't playing ball on this copy of the game. You're right there, Taz? We have to collect time gears to unlock each hub world, which are lying around on the ground, hiding in pots and crates, awarded for completing minigames, or earned by smashing all of the Acme crates in each era. Aw, poor guy, you seem sad. Is it because you're lost in time? Well, let me fix that. Aha! Finding all these characters in the era gets you a shiny crystal gear worth 100 normal gears, and it's the last thing I collected in each area because I was strangely compelled to complete the game as I went. To be fair, out of the 1500 gears in the Aztec world, you need 1210 to progress to the Viking area. It's a decent enough proportion that I just decided to collect everything as I played through. There are 4 era/hub worlds in the game, which Granny opens with lasers? She opens them with lasers. Dang, Granny. Anyway, 4 hub worlds. Aztec, Viking, Arabian, and Transylvanian. Not sure some of those are really eras, but okay. Each era has 3 main areas with their own inventories. The initial area, an auto-run level, and a mini-level focused around a central gimmick. Throwing rocks into idols, flipping mirrors in Stonehenge, finding notes for your magic flute, which can be really hard at times, or turning a bunch of zoo animals into were-monsters. Also, Little Shop of Horrors. Those 3 main areas will reward you with a boss token, which you obviously need to progress to the boss level. The boss levels are vaguely puzzle-based. In the Aztec temple, for example, you have to turn false walls and complete character-specific challenges to reach the boss arena. Also, this temple doesn't allow you to summon your partner to your location, so the right analog control comes in really handy here. The first boss area is probably the most interesting set of puzzles, which is a shame. The later areas aren't bad by any means, but they range from boring and linear to, what the heck am I supposed to be doing? Throwing carrots into these lined faces with no explanation. Okay, fine. The game really enjoys the puzzle boss trope, which is great for me because I'm not very good at combat. While the puzzles are simple, there is a level hints option in the menu which gives hints tailored to whichever level of the game you're currently playing. Another great addition for younger players, or a certified adult who couldn't figure out the barber fight for the life of him. I will neither confirm nor deny if I was said certified adult. Most of the variety of this game comes from the minigames scattered around each main area of the era hub world. Each time does have a sports game. The Aztec has pelota, which is basically basketball, so Bugs is naturally very good at it. The Viking has hockey, which I suppose is because it's icy. We play football in the Arabian era. And finally, the Transylvanians play rugby. And I don't even need rules to play rugby. I am an Englishman. Rugby is in my blood.
Congratulations.
Nailed it. I imagine these games are a lot easier with 2 players since I was outnumbered, but they weren't totally unfair even by myself. Another common game type is good old Simon Says. I like the Bilardi lessons the most. It's the only one with an actual rhythm element to it, and boy is it rhythmic. Taz's eyebrows are hypnotic. There are also some mini-games which involve a specific ability of one character. In the Viking area, Bugs is taught how to roll, and just up the hill you have a bowling mini-game to practice the skills and earn a bunch of gears. These mini-games give a good amount of variety and don't feel that forced. They're all short and natural extensions of your moveset, so it's a good way to supply gears without just having a bunch of platforming challenges or chest smashing in the main area. Although, the later levels have mini-games that are linked and get you the boss token. In these Arabian Nights, you have to free each genie from another's temple. The Wind Genie from the Earth Temple, Earth Genie from the Wind Temple, Water Genie from the Fire Temple, and Fire Genie from the... Actually, you know what? I'm good.
Thank you for releasing me.
So anyway, in Transylvania, we have to use a brain switching machine in the middle of the town. Okay, so we switch brains with these monsters, which lead to us going all Quasimodo on these bell towers. Also, we all agree these guys are the Monstars, right? Ringing all 3 of the bells will give us the boss token. I really would have liked to have seen these larger puzzles in the other 2 areas, but on the other hand, it does make the later levels feel harder, even though they aren't, so I don't mind it. The first time you enter a world, you see a cutscene introducing the boss of the area, along with a pre-fight boss cutscene. These really highlight the best part of the game, which are the characters. This is a Looney Tunes property after all, and it really feels like it. Much like some of the famous shorts, characters are placed in costumes like they're actors. For example, we have Yosemite Sam in Mesoamerican dress as the Aztec boss. But he still has his ludicrous cowboy accent and talks like a used car salesman when interacting with Daffy in his pre-fight cutscene.
With corn and mashed potatoes! My final offering!
The one that really stood out to me was Elmer Fudd as the Viking boss. He looks almost exactly like his appearance in the 1957 short What's Opera Doc. Sadly, Baba and Count Blood Count don't have anywhere near as much personality, as Count Blood Count is a minor recurring character at best, and I'm pretty sure Baba is a reskinned version of Hassan from the Ali Baba Bunny short, complete with his own version of Hassan Chop.
Baba Chop!
But the real stars are Bugs, Taz and Daffy. Daffy doesn't appear often, but when he does, he's stamping all over the place, running away at the slightest provocation, and generally making everything worse. The comedic timing of Daffy scenes are great, especially for the PSX.
Okay, I'll be right here. Oh, dagnabbit!
All the cutscenes are done with the in-game assets, you can tell because of the weird textures, but it still comes across, and I was surprised by how often I smiled when playing. Bugs is brilliantly sarcastic as always, even managing to comedically time his carrot eating, and Taz is just kind of there doing his thing. I was also amazed by how in character they behaved while in play. Bugs has a long, stomping stride, while Taz pit-pats along like an excited Pomeranian. The rabbit does an elegant breaststroke, while Taz doggy paddles. And then we have the less seen animations, which don't need to be so detailed, but the devs went there. Bugs balances mallets on his hand like a stage magician, has a completely over-the-top sneaking gait, and the way he dives into the ground is just brilliantly cartoony. Taz, meanwhile, constantly looks around like a caged animal, builds up his super spin in a manner like he's accessing some kind of primal power, or just, like he needs to sneeze. And my personal favourite detail in the whole game, if you leave Taz unattended near Bugs, he'll gradually edge towards the rabbit until he bites Bugs.
Ouch!
It's such a clever way of reminding you that Taz may be a player character, but he's not the most sentient. Granny does refer to him as her pet in the beginning, so I I guess it's kind of similar to taking a semi-domesticated fox with you on a journey or something. Also, I just realised, isn't Sylvester one of Granny's pets? Tweety's in this game, so it kind of surprises me that Sylvester doesn't appear at all. So, what can I conclude about this game? Honestly, it's a lot of fun. The platforming is simple, there's a good variety of minigames and challenges, and these help keep the gameplay interesting until the very end. Admittedly, the repeated themes can feel a bit boring, especially the sports games, which really don't change, and the auto-run segments, which are all pretty slow and can be a little hard to control. Of course, the best thing about this is the Looney Tunes charm, but if you switch them for some bland platformer mascot, it would still be a really fun game. It's easy to complete too without much extra effort. I 100%ed the game as I played after... Oh wait, hi Granny. I missed some gears? No, I definitely got all of them, I checked, see? I'm missing 100 gears. Oh, it's because I didn't collect my reward for getting all the Lost in Time characters in the Transylvanian era. Here you go, Granny. So Granny fixes the machine, some science happens to seal off all the eras, and Daffy is... well, he's in one piece at least. I 100% of the game as I played after all, and it only took somewhere between 4 and 5 hours, so if you're looking to waste an afternoon, maybe give this game a try. But that's all I have to say for now, so thanks for listening.
And welcome to the jam!
Fittingly, Buzz Lightyear can also dive into rabbit holes.